Arctic royalty, unlocking the mysteries of the polar bear. The majestic polar bear, which embodies the epitome of Arctic resilience and evolutionary prowess, roams the icy expanse of the Arctic. It is a predator that is responsible for the survival of the Arctic. Polar bears are a symbol of both the beauty and the problems that are inherent in the northernmost regions of the Earth. They are known for their distinctive white fur, their intimidating stature, and their extraordinary adaptation to the icy realms that they call home. In the course of this investigation, we delve deeply into the complexities of polar bear biology, ecology, and conservation, therefore revealing the mysterious web of this amazing species. According to the scientific classification system, the polar bear is categorized as Ursus maritimus. It is a member of the family Ursidae, which is a lineage that includes its terrestrial counterparts such as brown bears and grizzlies. The taxonomic distinction of the polar bear, on the other hand, is not only a matter of terminology. Rather, it is a reflection of the one-of-a-kind evolutionary trajectory that has shaped this Arctic specialist. The polar bear is thought to have separated from its closest relative, the brown bear Ursus arctos, roughly 600,000 years ago. This divergence occurred as a result of the polar bear adapting to the harsh climate of the Arctic through a series of specific morphological and behavioral adaptations. This evolutionary divergence has equipped the polar bear with a set of features that are especially suited to its frigid habitat, so distinguishing it as a different species within the family of bears. The stunning look of the polar bear, which is marked by its thick coat of insulating fur and gigantic stature, is a monument to the polar bear's ability to adapt to the intense cold of the Arctic environment. When compared to its brown bear relatives, the polar bear is distinguished by the presence of a thick layer of underfur beneath its outer coat. This underfur provides an exceptional level of insulation against the stinging cold of the Arctic winds. Furthermore, the huge body size of the polar bear acts as an extra thermal buffer, so reducing the amount of heat that is lost in the icy waters of the Arctic Ocean when it is swimming. Because of its lengthened neck and streamlined body structure, the polar bear is able to swim efficiently, which enables it to go across huge areas of ice seas in search of its prey, which is primarily seals. In their capacity as the most powerful predators in the Arctic ecosystem, polar bears play a crucial part in maintaining the delicate equilibrium of the food webs that exist in the Arctic. They typically hunt seals, particularly ringed and bearded seals, on sea ice platforms. Seals are their principal prey, and they hunt them more frequently than other animals. This dependency on sea ice for hunting necessitates the intimate relationship of the polar bear with Arctic ice formations. As a result, polar bears are especially susceptible to the effects of climate change and the diminishing extent of sea ice. The behavior of polar bears is characterized by a remarkable degree of adaptability and intellect. In order to manage their frigid environment, polar bears adopt a variety of hunting techniques and social dynamics. Polar bears are primarily solitary creatures. Nevertheless, they may have the tendency to gather in regions where there is an abundance of food supplies, such as seal-breathing holes or carrion sites. In most cases, males and females will gather together during the breeding season to engage in elaborate courtship rituals before parting ways once the mating process is finished. There are various phases of reproductive activity and maternal care that occur throughout the life cycle of the polar bear, which takes place in the frozen expanses of the Arctic. Pregnant females often look for good denning places in snowdrifts or coastal areas during the breeding season, which typically takes place during the months of April and May. During the harsh wintertime in the Arctic, these maternal caves provide as a safe refuge for the mother and her kids, protecting them from the elements as well as any potential predators that may be present. Polar bears have gestation cycles that last roughly 8 months, and during the winter denning period, females give birth to anywhere from 1 to 3 cubs. The survival of these newborn cubs is entirely dependent on their mother's care, as they are born without any hair and without any sensory perception. Over the course of the subsequent months, the mother tends to her young, providing them with critical survival skills and gradually exposing them to the challenges that come with living in the Arctic. When spring approaches and the Arctic landscape starts to thaw, mother polar bears emerge from their burrows with their children in tow, going on a voyage of discovery and learning. This adventure begins when the cubs join their mother. Under the careful guidance of their mother, cubs are able to improve their instincts for hunting during this phase. This helps them get ready for the obstacles that they will face when they are living alone in the Arctic tundra. The polar bear is currently at a crossroads in terms of its conservation status. It is poised between the imperatives of habitat preservation and the realities of a climate that is changing at a rapid pace. The loss of habitat that is caused by climate change, in conjunction with other anthropogenic stresses such as pollution and industrial development, poses severe challenges to polar bear populations over their entire range. As a reaction to these issues, conservation initiatives have been deployed on both national and international dimensions. The goal of these efforts is to protect polar bear habitats and reduce the negative effects of climate change. The development of protected areas, the restriction of hunting quotas, and attempts to reduce greenhouse gas emissions are all examples of important steps that need be taken in order to guarantee the long-term survival of polar bear populations. One of the most important aspects of these conservation efforts is the realization of the link between the preservation of polar bears and the improvement of ecosystem health in general. It is possible for humans to ensure a future in which polar bears continue to wander the frigid expanses of the Arctic by addressing the underlying causes of habitat degradation and climate change. This would be a symbolic representation of the resiliency and adaptability of the wildlife that inhabits the Earth. In the broad tapestry of Arctic life, the polar bear emerges as a symbol of power, tenacity, and adaptability. It is an apex predator that is uniquely suited to the challenges that its cold realm presents. After gaining an awareness of its evolutionary history, ecological purpose, and conservation imperatives, we are able to obtain a better understanding of the complex web of life that is responsible for maintaining the northernmost areas of the Earth. It is the responsibility of humanity, as stewards of this delicate environment, to accept our position as guardians of the Arctic realm and to fight relentlessly to safeguard and preserve the gorgeous polar bear as well as the frigid landscapes that it calls home. When we do this, we are not only honoring the heritage of this iconic species, but we are also honoring the larger tapestry of Arctic biodiversity, which is dependent on the ecological health of our world. We invite you to accompany us on this journey as we celebrate the regal legacy of polar bears and acknowledge the essential function that they perform in the ecosystem of the Arctic. Let us go on a joint endeavor to achieve a future in which polar bears and people coexist and develop together in harmony, protecting their ice homes and fostering the growth of our interconnected world. In order to raise awareness and motivate people to take action, please subscribe, like, and share this message. Today is the day to take a stand in support of conservation efforts and sustainable practices in your town. Let's work together to make a difference that matters for polar bears and for the Earth as a whole.